Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today, book DuckTales, Jungle Duck for 1989. So let's get started. The plane carrying Scrooge McDuck, his nephew, Lunchpad McQuack, and Mrs. Beakley flew over the jungle on its way to find the legendary silver bird statue. As the plane prepared to land, a tear slid down Mrs. Beakley's cheek. "Are you all right?" asked Dewey. "It's nothing, just an old memory," she explained. "When I was nanny for Prince Greydrake, his plane disappeared over this very jungle, and he was never seen again. He would have been crowned king on his 25th birthday, the day after tomorrow." After the plane landed, they took a small boat up to the river, but only after Scrooge had bargained for the lowest price. Trees lined both sides of the river. "Watch out for the crocodile," warned Scrooge. They sailed deeper into the jungle. When it got dark, they stopped in a clearing for the night. They ate tropical fruits for dinner. "Delicious," said Lunchpad. "Let's get some sleep," said Scrooge. "We have a long way to go, and we better start early in the morning." No one knew it, but someone or something watched them while they slept. Mrs. Beakley woke up when she felt something brush across her feet. She looked around, frightened. "Where am I?" she wondered. She found herself in a rickety bed in the branches of a tree. Two monkeys were tickling her feet. "How did I get here?" she asked herself. Holding on to a creeping vine, she slid to the ground and went to find the others. As she walked through the jungle, she met a lion. "Help!" screamed Mrs. Bigley. The lion was about to jump on her when a huge duck swung down on a vine, landing right between the old lady and the lion. The duck fought off the lion and sent it running back into the jungle. Then the duck beat his chest and roared. "Amazing," said Mrs. Beakley. The duck picked up Mrs. Beakley and carried her back to the treehouse, swinging from vine to vine. There he handed her a piece of fruit. "I don't understand," said Mrs. Beakley, frightened. "Miss Beakley cooked food for me," said the duck. "You can talk," she said, "and you know my name, but how?" He showed her the tattoo on the bottom of his right foot. "It's the Greydrake coat of armor," she gasped. "I don't believe it. You're the Prince Greydrake." And the duck replied, "Miss Beakley make food." Meanwhile, Lunchpad Scrooge and his nephews were searching for Mrs. Beakley, afraid for her safety. "Maybe an elephant had eaten her," said Dewey. "Elephants are plant eaters," said Huey. "She was probably attacked by a lion." "Stop it, you two," said Scrooge. "We got to find her." But suddenly they were surrounded by fierce men carrying spears. Scrooge and the other were taken to the village of straws and mud huts. In the center of the village square was a wooden tower leading up to a platform directly above a pool of streaming liquid. "Border and order," said Scrooge. "I don't think they want us to find the silver birds," said Lunchpad. One of the warriors told Lunchpad to climb the tower. Lunchpad climbed the steps nervously. The warrior pushed him from behind. Nice view, said the pilot. But we had seen enough. Jump, ordered the warrior. Are you crazy? Cried Lunchpad. Jump. The warrior pushed him off the platform, but just before Lunchpad fell into the boarding order, Gray Drake swooped down and caught him. While the warriors were confused, Scrooge and his nephew grabbed vines following Gray Drake to his hut. Mrs. Beagley was glad to see them. Thank you for finding them, Gray Drake, she said. Gray Drake strong, Gray Drake safe, boasted the duck. Will someone tell me what's going on? Asked Scrooge. Mrs. Bigley told them the whole story. Isn't it wonderful? She finished. And I think he knows where the silver bird is. Then what are we waiting for? Cried Scrooge. Gray Drake led them to the site of the old plane crash. Scrooge frowned. So this is the legendary silver bird, he said. I had come all this way for a power junk. Oh, it's not so bad, Mr. McD, said Lunchpad. It's a plane. It will fly us home. Gray Drake caught up on a herd of elephants. In no time, they had turned the plane right side up. We'll need some fuel, said Scrooge. We'll get some orders from that village, said Huey. While Lunchpad worked on the plane, Mrs. Beakley boarded the order to make gasoline. By nightfall, the plane was ready. We'll go first thing in the morning, said Scrooge. What about Gray Drake? Asked Mrs. Bigley. We'll have to leave him here. No, we must take him home, said Mrs. Bigley. He is King Gray Drake now. Suddenly spears and arrows were flying all around them. The warriors had found us, shouted Scrooge to the plane. Hurry! The jungle duck was with them when the plane took off. The next day, they landed in the capital and learned that Gray Drake's evil uncle, Goose Pimple, was about to have himself crowned king. Scrooge and the other got there just in time to stop the... Wait, cried Scrooge. Here's the real king. The jungle duck held his uncle up in the air. Look, cried one of the ministers, pointing to Gray Drake. He has Gray Drake's seal on the sole of his foot. The took place, but with the real king, Mrs. Bigley looked on proudly. You have a big job ahead of you, Gray Drake. I'm sure you will rule fairly. Yes, Miss Bigley, he answered. I teach people things you taught me. So that was let's see. Okay, here we go. That was DuckTales Jungle Duck from 1989. If you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.